On a Thursday edition of Cleveland Browns Daily, I am merely Bo. He is the great Z. We have a training camp practice in the books.
Yes.
We have quarterbacks at podiums. We could have a guest here in studio at any moment. And in fact, if you're on the YouTube stream, you will see that there is currently an empty chair next to me. That chair could be filled at any moment by an active Cleveland Brown. How are you living, buddy?
I'm good, man. It was fun out there yesterday. Gibbe and I and Siciliano had a nice perch up above, and we took in all the action, and it was great to see. He even got a little 11 on 11. The throw of the day belonged to Kenny Pickett on a nice crossing route to Jerry Jeudy that was right in rhythm. That was just beautiful.
Nice.
Dylan Gabriel had a bomb down the field. Flacco threw one to Mike Woods where when he threw the ball, you're like, there's no way this guy's open. It's one of those where you watched, he threw him open. Like, he threw the ball where Mike Woods had to really effort to get to, but only he could get to it, and he did. Shador had a great throw like that as well to the outside. That might be the Pickett to Jeudy one right there. Look at who's on the ball right now.
Wow. Let's on it.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Right on it. If you're watching on the
Let's
YouTube,
go.
You would have seen that.
There it is. Watch, here's going to be the Shador one. I bet this is to gauge number 84 on the outside where it's a tight window throw. Look at the ball placement there. Oh, no, that's a quick little out.
The one I was seeing where it was really tight on the sideline.
Who do we have here?
Dylan.
And Dylan hit a bomb to Gage Lardavian, who when the defender fell down, this is a little boot and a little run. Look at this little B-roll. There's Jordan in the background right there. Saw him.
Young Dr. J.
But, yeah, the throw there, everybody kind of had a highlight. Shador, I know the numbers. I was there. I'm telling you, he had two that were tight windows that should have been caught, and one where a guy kind of had a collision on the first one, and so the next time he went back to him in that tight window, he got a little bit of the alligator arms, a little bit. And it was
Hate to see it.
Yeah, hated to see that. But all in all, solid day. They got some good work in. I thought Kenny threw the ball well. You see Jamari Thrash for those watching on the YouTube stream right there. Jamari Thrash, it is a clear to me that he's the one. If Flacco throws this to the left, it's got to be the Mike Wood ones. He looks right, comes back left. No, nope, staying right. Gosh, he throws a nice looking ball.
He does. I feel like at 60 he could.
Oh yeah, that was the crosser to DeAndre Carter. Had a nice catch. It was really it was good to see. Everybody kind of had their good moments throwing the football. Again, it's a lot of 7-on-7. There was one period of 11-on-11s. In the 11-on-11s, Joe Flacco did not get any reps yesterday. I really want this one to be the one to Mike Woods because it's so sick. This has to be it. Looking left, throws. You're just not going to be able to get the context, but, yeah, that was it.
Yeah, that's tight.
Or it looked like Miles Harden was going to be able to undercut that, and you could see he's like, how did he get that ball in there? And it was a great catch by Mike Woods. That was the one from Flacco there. But, yeah, some good work yesterday. You did not have David Njoku's out there. I got to see him and express condolences on behalf of myself and the program on the passing of his father. He wasn't out there yesterday. Jerome Ford's nursing a little bit of an injury, wasn't out there yesterday. Jordan Hicks was not there for personal reasons yesterday as well. Starting defense, that was out there again. That was out there. You had Swessinger was in there. That's that ball again right there to Jerry Jeudy. You had Swessinger in there. You had Mason Graham in there with Malik Collins. McGuire lined up opposite of Myles Garrett to start. But your defensive ends that was the other thing. When Shador was in there kind of at the end, and you have guys like Joe Tryon-Shoyinka, and you've got Julian Okwara and Cam Thomas against the third-string tackles, that did not go well for the third-string tackles. There were two plays that Shador had in his 5. He had 5 plays in 11, and then 2 of them were over before they began.
Yeah, just
Julian Okwara was in the backfield as the ball was being snapped.
Yeah, and honestly, it should be that way. Honestly,
yeah, these are pros.
It should be that way, and our defense should be significantly ahead of our offense. So that's the way it ought to look. That's the way that I think this team is kind of being. That's how this team has been built, is defensively first. And so the defense should have their way with our offense a lot of the time. I mean, that's Kevin ain't going to like it, but that's the reality of it, is that the defense should be far ahead of the offense at this moment. Usually is anyway, but especially in this camp where so much has been invested on that side of the ball.
Especially when you get those things going and there are no pads. That's tough. Yeah, guys getting that speed off the edge. Offensively in 7-on-7s, right, that's where the offense should look good. And I thought the offense did look good in those periods, and it's going to continue to ramp up. That's day one. Today you'll get a little bit more than you got yesterday, and then you'll have that first open practice to the fans tomorrow, and then Saturday as well. Now, what's interesting to me is, it's hot. It's hot. It's going to be in the 90s when they take the field.
Yeah.
And Kevin's fancy is kind of a word that I had used a few times, talking about, this team needs to get calloused and hardened. And I don't know if you saw the clip they put out.
Yeah.
And that's the word. Got to callous your body, callous your mind. And that's right. This team has got to be able to hit the ground, not just running, sprinting, because it is going to be an absolute sprint to try to deal with the Bengals, with the Ravens, with the Packers, with the Lions right out of the gate.
Steelers, yeah.
Yes.
I mean, it's a full day. And it's I think the one, I don't know, did you look at next week, though? It's supposed to be like in just the mid-70s. So really hot today and hot kind of this weekend, but then next week it goes down 10 degrees. It's like mid-70s next week. So usually coaches want it like it is today.
Yeah,
that's what you want, is you want the heat, the humidity, and all that kind of comes with it to get in the work. So let me ask you this. Did you notice anything different in terms of the process of practice from previous years?
Well, it certainly seemed to the two fields. Yeah, that's different. Where you're running simultaneous 7-on-7s on both fields. That's obviously we saw that in OTA, saw that in minicamp because of the four quarterbacks. So that's new from a training camp perspective. I've not seen that before. And then the other thing I would say is, and Gibbe, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but it felt like there was the official start. It felt like it was just longer. It was longer. They were out there, like today it says 4:25, I guess.
Yeah.
I thought by 4 o'clock, like it was going.
Yeah, when Coach came to the podium just a few minutes before 4 o'clock, there were a number of guys already outside working.
And that's, I think, individual stuff. That's not like part of the action, but it felt it honestly, Gibbe, I was surprised because I remembered kind of like the ramp up days that happened at the Greenbrier. Felt like the day one, it was just individual and position group drills. And then, like, this was a practice.
It was day 3 or 4 of the ramp up before we saw any 11-on-11 or 7-on-7.
So they're getting into it, and they're doing obviously what is allowed. And
Yeah.
I think that they're going to go. I think in years past there was what was allowed, and then what the Browns thought was judicious. Whereas it feels like this year we're going to go with what is allowed. We're going to the max of that.
I asked because so much has been made this offseason about the changing tone, and obviously, the two fields. That's a very college thing to do.
Yep.
We saw that in minicamp when we felt like 100 people here at rookie minicamp. Because you've got to. It's just reps. It's a reps game that has to get done.
Yep.
So all of those things are different than what we've seen in the past. And then I like how you phrase that about, this is what you can do, and we would be judicious, and now we're taking it right up to what you can do. And so it has to be that the way. Look, folks, there's one way that I think as we sit here in mid to late July, that this team can be successful this year, and it is about being physical defensively, turning other teams over, and in a way kind of nursing it offensively. And long drives with the run game and play action. I mean, that's the recipe for success. We do not have the offensive firepower to keep up with the other teams in our division without our defense providing that. We just don't. Nope. Our investment, it was not on that side of the ball.
Agreed.
And so there's a way to win, and I think the direct correlation between this is the way to win and the way to win is going to be toughness, and I like that. I heard that too. I picked up on it that he used that word callous as well.
Yeah, that's who we're going to have to be. You are going to have to be a tough football team. You are going to have to be ready to go right out of the gate, and you are going to have to really be efficient and ready for the demands, the physicality, all of it that are going to take place and transpire once this season kicks off. And I think for the Cleveland Browns, right now, this is going to be a team that's going to win games the following way. We're not going to win a lot of 48-42 shootouts, but to your point, you have got to be efficient. You have got to be excellent in execution. You have got to avoid shooting yourself in the foot, those crippling mistakes, whether they're offensive penalties, whether they're turnovers. And then your defense is going to have to be elite. We're going to have to really be able to run the ball. We're going to have to take advantage of the shot plays when they're there, and we're going to have to play good defense. And our special teams is going to have to be plus. We've got to be good kicking. We got to be good covering, good returning. Hopefully, DeAndre Carter, finally we can get a returner to the season, and that would be great. But that's the recipe. And when you think about the fact that, the Bengals recipe is going to be to score 35.
Yeah.
The Ravens are a team that can kind of do it all. They can score and they can shut you down. You're going to have to be very committed to that identity, and that identity is going to have to be one that is physical, because to play great defense and be a team that hangs its hat on running the football, you've got to be physical. And I think Kevin Stefanski is thrilled that Mike Bloomgren's here. They see the run game the same way. I know our offensive line players are thrilled that he is here, and we need to see that manifest. And obviously we have a big off-the-field question mark at that position, but that's where this team is going to kind of make its hay, in my opinion.
Practice number 2 will be today at 4:25. Obviously, it will be heated out there this afternoon at the Cross Country Mortgage Campus. And then tomorrow at 2 o'clock will be the first practice that is open to the public. And when are we in a full pad situation? What is the ramp up? Do you guys, just curious, not that
Gibbe
I know it's
might
not
know
anytime
that.
soon.
Gibbe's
Gibbe, do you know when
plugged in. The first day of
full
full pads?
Is it a week?
No, so I mean, you get there's 5 days of ramp up. So that would take that
Early next week?
I would say Monday or Tuesday, because Thursday is not a training camp day.
Okay.
Thursday is just a walkthrough day.
A week from today?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I would think, do you go in pads the day before that?
Probably. Yeah, right.
So maybe on Wednesday? I would say Tuesday or Wednesday.
Yeah. I think we're about ready to have a luminary join.
All right.
I think Joe's ready to get on in here. So
You want to take a break?
It's up to you, or you can just do it live. Do you want to take a break?
Yeah.
All right, we'll take a quick timeout. Those are your hot topics today, presented by University Hospitals, official healthcare partner of your Cleveland Browns. I should mention it is a Mailbag Thursday edition of the program. Send your questions to us and Gibbe at Browns_Daily. You can also do so on the YouTube stream as well. Joe Tryon-Shoyinka is going to join us in studio coming up next. You listen to Cleveland Browns Daily, presented by Ballybet, official sports betting partner of your Cleveland Browns on 850 ESPN Cleveland. Welcome back in. Cleveland Browns Daily, presented by Ballybet, official sports betting partner of your Cleveland Browns. Joining us live in studio, new defensive end Joe Tryon-Shoyinka joining us. Joe, good to see you, man. Welcome to town. One day in, day 2 practice coming this afternoon. How's it going so far? How do you like town? How do you like the facilities, the building, the team, all of it?
I'm loving it all. We all a bunch of hungry dogs out here. We all got a mindset that we're trying to be the best, and it seems like just the whole atmosphere of the team has got a lot of focus and a lot of emphasis on toughness, and it's been a test. But I think you can't really get changed without being challenged, and it's definitely a positive opportunity for all of us to go out and just start the season the way we want to. Day 2, defense, we got to fly around. We got a lot of goals we want to lead the league and takeaways, sacks, interceptions, all those things. So we got to just continue to work, put one foot in front of the other, and just have fun. But it's been good, Cleveland. I appreciate y'all welcoming me, and I didn't think it was gonna bring this type of heat, but I'm ready for it.
It won't last.
Yeah.
And by the way,
no.
There will come a time you're wishing it's back.
Hey.
I promise you that. Although you played in Washington, the Pacific Northwest, a little bit about when it gets a little cold, a little gray.
Yeah.
What was it like going back to kind of your free agency process? For the first time probably since you went to Washington, being recruited again. And going through that and deciding and getting to decide as a free agent, okay, this is the right fit for me. So what was that process like, and what led you to the conclusion that, Cleveland is the place I want to be?
Just trying to get as many opportunities as possible. And Cleveland has a great defense. Schwartz has an amazing philosophy that just allows the defensive line to basically just pin their ears back and attack and not really read. So just the whole process was pretty simple. I sat down. I just kind of just watched the film. I've seen the Browns' defensive film over my career, and they always pop out, flash out. So I thought it's something I wanted to be a part of for sure.
How nice is it that you don't have to worry about dropping, and maybe there'll be a wrinkle here or there because you've done in the past, but you can stand up on a 2-point stance, put your hand in the dirt, and just go forward.
Man, it's a good feeling, but it also comes with a lot of responsibility. If we're not producing, then our DBs are in a bad position, but that's why we're putting so much emphasis in meshing the coverage with our pass rush so we can be a dominant defense like we're supposed to be.
The investment that's been made by this organization on the defensive side of the ball, obviously Mason Graham coming in as a 4th-round pick. First, second-round pick was a linebacker in Carson. Obviously, Miles' contract gets done. This is the identity of this team, and we've talked about this a lot. Whatever this team is, it's going to probably be set by you all. What are you sensing in terms of the tone from the defensive side early on here, and how appealing was that for you in your decision to come here?
Just overall tone. I think it was just a great opportunity for the defense to just lead and push each other. When you have a great defense going out and attacking the offense every day, it rises the level of competition throughout the whole team. It raises expectations for both sides of the ball. So, that's just a great opportunity. And like you said, we got to be able to lead, and then it's going to just keep bringing everyone else up in the building.
How do you feel about two things? I'll ask in 2 different questions then. The first is, you're not going to get double teamed, and most likely if you're on the opposite side of Myles Garrett, protection will be sliding away from you. That has to be appealing, knowing that
for sure.
It's just going to be one-on-one pretty much every time you rush the passer.
That's an amazing opportunity. I don't know who else in the defensive end position would want to be anywhere else other than that situation. You can't really explain a better spot. So definitely an amazing opportunity for any defender here, and I'm excited.
And then the other part is different than some teams. Some teams are like, these are our starters, and they're going to play 90% of the snaps. Yeah. And, when they need a rest, they'll come in. Jim Schwartz, at least in the years that he's been here thus far, it's waves. And I'm sure Jacques Césaire has told you that. Everybody's going to play. So when you are playing, you are going to be fresh because everybody's going to get those opportunities. Is that something that you've experienced before, and is that something that's appealing as well?
I've experienced it to a sense, but the whole waves things is a bunch of fresh legs ready to go out and attack the offensive line, and then we're just going to keep doing it. And we're all hungry to impact the game. We all want to do that. So that's what these couple days in camp, we got to continue to grind and just put that work in so it shows up in the fall.
Pretty good iron versus iron too with that offensive line that we have in terms of and as now that you are a veteran, you're this far into your career, how do you balance you got to go as hard as you can, every rep counts, but also it's a long camp, you have to take care of yourself too. How is that balance like for you? What have you learned in your career on that front?
It's just you got to lead by example. There's a bunch of people, a bunch of young dudes watching. They're trying to figure out their way in the league. So as a veteran, you got to be able to put your best foot forward. You got to continue to show your best side, and even when you're tired, you got to show them that this is what it's like to be a pro. This is what it takes, and it's not going to be easy. And we don't want it to be easy. Like I said, you ain't gonna get changed without being challenged. So that's kind of where I'm seeing it.
Yeah.
Is it wild in your NFL life that you blink and here you are? I think Miles is obviously the veteran. Julian may have 1 year on you, and then you're one of the older guys in the room all of a sudden.
It's surreal. It's like, dang, the whole league round is just you grow up quick, man. You mature quick, and then you learn quick. So yeah, I'm excited. But I'm blessed to be where I'm at, and I think the young guys are all hungry. So I'm in a good position to even have the right mindset where I know I could be speaking to these guys and they're actually taking it in and something that's going to help them in their career.
It kind of feels like the perfect fit for your game here.
Yeah.
I mean, really does. I mean, the more the talk and the more you kind of figure out what we're going to be and what you're about as a player, kind of a match made in heaven thing here, it seems like.
Man, I mean, it's
hopefully.
kind of where it's going towards. I'm excited.
Yeah.
I'm definitely amped up thinking about that.
Yeah.
The whole way, I got thinking about the waves right now. Like,
I got to get ready.
To mess some stuff up, dog.
It's such an interesting thing, in the league where you come in someplace and you were there drafted in the first round with Tampa for the 4 years, and now you walk into a new room and you have goals for yourself and you have goals obviously for this team.
Yep.
What's it kind of like just coming into a completely new locker room? Because you've really only known one way of what camp has looked like and one way of what the locker room's been like. And people change every year. Obviously, that's the nature of the NFL. The roster churns. But this is a totally kind of new experience for you. What's kind of just been your impression of coming in, the facilities you're working with, everything, and coming in and how it's been for you kind of acclimating?
Yeah, it's definitely been an interesting process for me. I love it. Something about me is I'm cool with change. I'm not really worried about my process staying the same. I want it to be elevating. So coming here, the strength staff, they got a great program. They're working this hard. They're specialized in certain things that help us out on the field, and they're really excited to even do that. So having to personalize opportunities with the trainers, strength staff, nutritionists, they all put it in place, and they want you to use them for what they're used for. They have all the resources, all the knowledge. So coming here has just been.
You came at a good time too.
Yeah,
brand new weight room,
auditorium,
we got all the facility. Yeah,
I go in there. We got like a walkthrough,
like virtual reality kind of thing.
You can put the film on the wall and walk through the plays like it's in front of you. So I mean, it's pretty state of the art, and I'm excited.
What do you know about these fans and a Sunday in front of the Dog Pound? That's the Dog Pound 40th anniversary logo there, and
come on,
I love it. It looks great. What do you know about what it means to be a Cleveland Brown and what this organization means to these fans?
Man, it's everything. It's definitely everything, and I've seen it on TV. I've watched all those games where it's like a Thursday night game. Y'all playing in the snow. It's super windy, but the fans are still there. They lit. They loving it. It's an atmosphere I want to be a part of. So I definitely am embracing the Cleveland, Dog Pound for sure.
Yeah.
They're gonna bring it. All right, I have to ask you. I grew up on the West Coast as well.
Yeah.
You went to Washington. Like, how can we be living in a world without the Pac-12?
That doesn't make sense to me. I'm looking around like the Big Ten and where we're traveling and thinking about all the history in the Pac-12 and just Pac-10.
Pac-10 even?
Pac-10, freaking all the greats, bro. So, I mean, it hurts my head to think about.
Agreed. Totally.
I'm like, so I'll play college football 25, and I'm like, I'll make the old Pac-12, and I'll put everything in it. So I'm like, I'm running my dynasty, trying to get it back. I'm like, man, I got to get back in my old ways.
Did you grow up wanting to go to Washington?
I was just a Pac-10, Washington, Cal, all those schools.
Okay.
I loved it.
I know, man.
Cool
it's
logo.
Crazy.
You know what I mean? So, and we get to go up to like Utah and all those cool schools. So it's just something weird just to think about. It doesn't exist.
My uncle.
it exists, but like Texas State or something is in it now.
It doesn't exist.
Yeah, I don't want to hear about it anymore, bro.
My uncle
Apple Cup's on
nothing against Texas State, but I'm just saying that's not the Pac-12.
No, and the Apple Cup down at the end of the year, like just
they doing that like it's
early.
week 3 or something like last year.
So now you guys close with Oregon,
Yeah.
which I know you guys hate them, but
that's another.
It's a big time rival. But yeah, it's crazy. That's a Big Ten game.
Yeah, my uncle Zago, may he rest in peace, was a professor at the U of A, so I was a Pac-10 guy my whole life.
Yeah.
Man. It's just sad. Well,
It happened when he was there.
Man.
The mismanagement all happened there.
It's
That's when
insane.
it all went to heck.
I know.
There was a window where that league should have never, ever fallen apart.
No.
But it's some of the worst leadership in the history of sports led to it. It's crazy what happened at the top.
No,
It's terrible.
It was definitely one of those things like the players didn't want it to happen.
No.
None of the fans wanted it to happen.
In the last year,
Yeah.
they were playing in the national championship game.
Yeah.
Washington was in the national
They
championship
just won the
game.
Pac-12 2 years in a row.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I don't know.
They blew it.
All right, before we get you out of here, what's one thing I always like to ask people when they come to the team? What's one thing you want Browns fans to either know about you or to think about when they see, Tryon-Shoyinka on the back of your jersey? What's one thing you want them to think about you, whether football related or just you as a person?
Yeah, shoot. I'm human just like you guys. I love my family. I try to take care of my family the best way I can. I try to wake up, put one foot in front of the other. I try to be as human as I can. That's kind of how I look at it.
Just a much larger, more athletic human
That's
than
right.
the rest of us.
Y'all can do it too. No.
Man, it is great meeting you. It's great seeing you here in studio. Good luck this season. I
course.
think it's going to be a great one for you and this defense. Joe, thank you so much, bud.
Appreciate you having me.
All right, we'll go around the sports world, including a monumental passing in the sports and entertainment world coming up next. You listen to Cleveland Browns Daily on 850 ESPN Cleveland. All right, a couple of things around the sports world and around the league first. Jets quarterback Justin Fields. This was scary. I was on the air this morning when this initially happened, and when you saw the social media reaction, it was Justin Fields carted off the field. Oh my God, is it an Achilles? Is he done? Are they trading for somebody? What's going on? And then in relatively short order,
that they were going after Jeff George, maybe.
within an hour, it was kind of cleared up that it was a toe injury. Aaron Glenn saying afterwards he thinks someone stepped on his foot, and that and then I've heard people reporting that it dislocated non-big toe during practice this morning. So
Mr. Tarver just walked by and waved and was giving you like the high side.
Oh, I
and
didn't.
everything.
We're dialed. We're locked in.
I'm reading.
I know.
We're dialed.
Just telling you. I just wanted to make you aware. He might be coming back.
I'm
Maybe
reading.
All right, we're looking.
Yeah, I guess I'll.
By the way, here's my thing. I understand precautions and totally all of that, but I feel like if you're going to get carted off, you got to you can't be giving people scares like that.
I would agree. My hunch. I mean, I have nothing. My guess is somebody with the Jets said, "Hey,
you're not walking."
Yeah, get on the cart. Let's go check it out. Is my guess.
Yeah,
but it led to panic for 20 minutes.
I do think though it should be somebody should know or be well aware. This was not an Achilles. My Achilles is still here. I know
he's hurt.
I
know
my
that.
Achilles is here. But I mean, he would know that. He would know my Achilles.
Yes.
It's there.
Yes, he would.
He wasn't running around like my dad. Somebody kicked me, which is what he said.
Were you there?
There he is.
There he is.
Yeah, baby.
Were you there when
I
Pedro?
was. We were playing basketball at Schobert's, which was a club in Fremont, California.
And you were
he
were
went-
playing.
he just
you,
went
were you
down.
playing against him? Was it you against him?
We
or
were
was
on
it
the same team. It
like
was
a run,
like
a
a
run.
run.
Get
Oh,
a
dude,
run.
we played. They had some.
That's a good run.
Sweet leagues.
I love a run, man.
And the funny thing is, I couldn't even imagine doing that right now, ever again.
Well, you will. I mean, I did that last night. It's with the boys, so I did
That
the same.
feels
so you'll
a
be doing
little
that
bit different than when I was home from college and there's college D1 players and
that is, but
rigors
as
of it feel a little
as
less.
young Luca ages, it will become closer to that.
Sure.
As I now have a 13-year-old, but no, yeah. I mean, that's
Still
why
waiting for
that's
my
why I
invite
stopped
to go
playing pickup.
establish some law and order on this.
Right
court.
Winziger gets his AARP card. It'll be good.
Yeah.
Jesus, from the
Okay, Peepaw.
top shelf,
Okay,
Peepaw.
you're a grandfather.
Look at him just dancing around.
You're a grandfather,
That's right.
and you love Pittsburgh.
That's
and their
also,
nachos,
also true.
which you think are the best in the
Which
world.
are the best food in the league.
in the league
is the nachos, in Pittsburgh.
which is
wild
melted
take.
out of a bag, some plastic bag where they dump semi-liquid cheese out of it, and it's like Tostitos rounds just dumped into a vat.
Liquid gold.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah. Anyway,
The Packers released, they're the last one. They released their throwback uniform, included a helmet design to look like old school leather helmet. So it's very similar to the ones they've worn before, except instead of just a brown helmet to make look like leather. And Illinois did this first. Illinois had a fake leather helmet that they wore in honor of Red Grange. I don't get it. I don't
like it at all.
Yeah. I think sometimes you could just do
Siciliano loves it.
I think of
You'll
course
be
he
able-
does.
you'll-
I think
of course he does.
I think the thing with that you could do in some of these is almost like a faux throwback
Yeah.
that you could accomplish a similar.
How about you
feel.
call it a faux back?
Nailed it. Love it. You like it? Go ahead. You're plugged in.
I'm just using this as an office. I'm not trying to crash your show. I think it's great. I thought when Illinois did it last year, it was fantastic.
You liked it too.
I think
Okay.
it looks really cool. By the way, that is not a reference to our helmet yesterday, which I also love. I do like the faux leather look.
Is there anyone you don't like
Helmets?
of the new uniforms? That
I mean, the Saints look like they're like in
Oh, yeah, you
gold
didn't like
lame.
that. Oh, you didn't
yeah.
like that. Nice Vegas
I,
gold.
I don't care as much about uniforms. I mean, I care about the Browns uniforms, but you guys always talk about classic uniform matchup and this or that.
That's right.
It doesn't move me nearly as much as you. I know what looks.
the joy
I know what looks bad, but like you guys will be talking about a Monday night game, but like, these are two bad teams, but the uniforms are so
great
good.
looking. Looks
Like
good.
no one's choosing to
Well,
watch
we
the
have
game
eyes.
based on the uniforms.
no, but it's more aesthetic.
But it's better
We
pleasing,
wouldn't-
right?
I couldn't care less.
Interesting. You
yeah.
have no soul, Siciliano.
No,
Yeah, right.
Browns
Yeah.
uniforms.
Yeah.
Yes, the other teams, whatever. Who cares? Beat them.
I like uniforms.
I love a uniform.
The
love 'em.
but yeah, so they all got them done. Both them and the Steelers went with the ultra throwback, like
Yeah.
the 30s era. The Steelers did not go with the leather helmet; they went with the yellow one. So there you go on that.
Those are awful.
Well, now
I'm sorry.
Those are awful. Like they used to wear those Gangs of New York ones.
You just said you don't care.
But they're the Steelers.
You
Those
said
are
it doesn't matter.
ugly.
I don't know that you can selectively care.
Those were ugly. And remember, they're
How
going
are
back.
they different than Green Bay's? They're the same.
But like with like the no, go back and look at the Steelers jerseys.
No,
the
I
ones they
know.
unveiled last week.
No.
Those are awful.
I agree.
And
I think the Packers
they
are
harken
too.
back to an era where they were like the worst team in professional football for 4 decades.
Yeah, but we can also harken back to an era where the Bucks weren't good, but darn, those creamsicles are beautiful.
Exactly.
Beautiful.
They're beautiful.
Anyway, I'm sorry, as you were.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. And no all yellows for the Chargers. Gross.
No, not at all. It would be. I am sitting next to one of the most passionate fans of professional wrestling I've ever met. I know how much it means to you. So when you,
I like how much it means to Andrew. It's great. Yeah, professional wrestling. Big
that's
fan.
right. When you,
Me. Sorry. Yeah.
when you hear of, when you hear that the Hulkster has passed, sir, it's hard to. I mean, I have some thoughts, but yours are far more dialed in.
I mean, my earliest wrestling memory was watching WrestleMania 3 at Roberto Float's house on Rivercrest Lane in Hayward, California, when he slammed Andre the Giant. Say your prayers, eat your vitamins, do your training, all of that. The Hulkster was, and we live in a different world now because there's so many entertainment options and there are so many programs and this, that. It is harder than ever, I think, other than something maybe that goes viral, which has a short shelf life, right? Like, for example, that Coldplay concert, that was, I think, is going to go down as a top 10 viral moment in our lives. But now it's already gone.
Yep.
He is one of the last, and there are, I'm sure some, well, there could be this and that. He was a piece of Americana for decades and then reinvented himself in the NWO. He went from being the biggest good guy in the history of wrestling, main evented basically every WrestleMania 1 through 8. 9 comes back even at that, to going to the NWO. But he was Americana. He was, the first guy that he crossed over from wrestling, and then he's acting, and he's got his shows, and, he's in, go back, we're talking about Rocky.
Oh, yeah.
Thunderlips.
Yeah.
He was truly larger than life. And if you think about the great wrestling legends before him, so whether it be a Gorilla Monsoon, they just, yes, they were big, but they didn't transcend wrestling. Hulk Hogan was on the cover of, for the older people out there, TV Guide. He was on the cover of Sports Illustrated in the heyday of both of those publications. He was larger than life, truly, but was a piece of Americana. Like if you were to say, what are the biggest things of the 80s? Like Hulk Hogan is one of the biggest things of the 80s, and then reinvented himself and became one of the biggest things of the late 90s at the ultimate peak of the industry as a bad guy in the NWO. So he's arguably the greatest good guy ever and the greatest bad guy ever. 2 different companies, 2 different eras. I think what's very unfortunate is we have become very polarized, that who he was as a person down the end has created, I think, tarnished a lot of what people necessarily think of him, and he's done a lot of not great things. But if you're talking about Hulk Hogan, the wrestler, and Hulkamania, and the cultural movement that it was at its peak, he's one of probably the most well-known people in my lifetime. And without Hulk Hogan, there isn't The Rock doing what The Rock's doing. There certainly is not John Cena doing what John Cena's doing, and it's sad. Like it was one when it was a full body shiver when I read it, oh my God, the Hulk Hogan was such a part of my life. I think about, like I said, early on when he's in the WWF and, Hulkamania's Run Wild, the red and yellow, Real American, people my age know that song by heart.
Yes. Yeah.
Then he goes in the NWO. That's like me in college, and wrestling is cool. And it's like more adult product now, and he was still with it and was at the forefront of that. I got the opportunity to see him wrestle at WrestleMania 19 against Vince McMahon, which is a crazy match when you go back and you think about it. And then my favorite match of all time is still WrestleMania 18, Toronto Skydome 2002. B. Rossi just told me that he was in the house
How about that?
for that one in Toronto, and it was him against The Rock. And I got to, have my little foray into wrestling last summer, and the opening sequence in my match was the exact opening sequence of Hogan and The Rock.
Oh,
That's
was
like what
it? I
I
didn't
wanted
know that.
to do. Yeah, so I did
that's
it
cool.
with me in the role of the Hulkster. And that was like a little homage to my favorite match. My gear was, my pants were with the lightning bolts, and the airbrush was exactly his pants, basically. Without,
NWO,
it didn't
yeah.
have his face on them, obviously,
Yeah.
but was basically his pants that he wore at WrestleMania 18. So, yeah, a huge influence. Again, a piece of Americana. I will choose to remember him for that.
Yeah.
Not the bad things that have happened outside of the ring with him. And, sometimes the performer and the person aren't the same. My experiences with him, and I've had the pleasure of meeting him multiple times, could not have been nicer.
Yeah.
To me.
Yeah.
Could not have been nicer. There's that video of the kid who goes in there and is like, "Let me tell you something, brother," in his Hogan surf shop down there in Clearwater Beach, and he has a great report. But just, this is like a pillar of, I was trying to think of who would be like somebody that would have given me that visceral of a reaction. And unfortunately, so many from wrestling, obviously the Macho Man and Mr. Perfect and things like that, Ravishing Recruit are not with us anymore. But just from like to me, it's kind of like he's on Arnold Schwarzenegger's level to me in terms of my childhood, larger than life, transcended whatever genre they were originally in. I mean, you think of Arnold from bodybuilding to movie star to politics. I was trying. He's like for sure probably on the Mount Rushmore of the biggest icons. Like he was, for what he did, he was like what Joe Montana was to football in the 80s.
Oh, I think bigger.
Jordan, and
I think he's the
he was
most
like that.
I mean, you know the history better than me from my vantage point, and this is when I watched wrestling a lot, was in that era when he was I wasn't a Hogan guy. I didn't find him interesting.
You like the bad guys.
I like those guys, and I like Mach, and I just
Mega Powers explode WrestleMania 5.
That was it. I wasn't a Hogan guy, but I would say this: he's without question the most important professional wrestler of all time. He is.
Yes.
He transcended the sport, as you mentioned. He also legitimized it in a way. This used to be something that like you kind of watch in shame a little bit, and he made it mainstream. And he did it by showing up in Rocky III as Thunder Lips. He had several movies in the 80s. He was the star of a cartoon that was out there all the time.
The
He
Rock
was on
and Wrestling, and then he had Thunder in Paradise was his show. He had like a show.
Yeah, there was another movie that he did with where he was like the lead with Zeus was in it or something. Do you remember this?
I mean, he wrestled Zeus.
Yeah, but there was a movie that was about it too.
No Holds Barred.
No Holds Barred, yeah. So
He also did like something where he was a nanny.
That's right. So there was all this stuff that he did. So to me, he's Ruthian.
Well, so it's funny you say that. So I say
It's what I would say.
My favorite match, as I mentioned, was WrestleMania 18, which was the Hulkster against The Rock, and that's Jim Ross. He's the Babe Ruth of professional wrestling.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he said that.
That's what
He's
it is to me. Like I think if there was in that moment, he was bigger than the sport for a while.
He's on the Mount Rushmore of wrestling, whether you like his style
Doesn't
of wrestling
matter.
or whatever. He's the George Washington
people,
on the Mount Rushmore of wrestling.
A lot of people. That's exactly it. A lot of people wouldn't say that. You won't hear a lot of people say, "Well, is Babe Ruth the best baseball player of all time?" It's just
Babe Ruth.
He's Babe Ruth, and that's what this is. Like that's what he is. That's what he is to me. Is that like he just legitimized it. He was the face. I mean, you're right when you think about our childhood. You and I have similar age. When you think about Arnold, Jordan, like all of that stuff they were all kind of on the same level. Like Wayne Gretzky, Jordan, Hogan, like they were all kind of in that same spot, occupied the same space.
He elevated wrestling.
Yes.
The way that I would say Tiger Woods elevated golf.
That's fair. I think that's fair.
And when you think about it in those terms, like that is a massive lift.
Yeah.
Massive, massive lift. I mean, without Hulk Hogan, they don't sell out the Pontiac Silverdome for WrestleMania 3 in the 80s, and they're not today, doing back-to-back nights in football stadiums for multiple events a year. Like, he paved the way, and obviously Vince McMahon has a hand as the promoter and the genius that he was, but Hulk Hogan made wrestling, he did two things. He made wrestling mainstream in the 80s, and then with the NWO, he made it cool.
That was it. I mean, it's really
people
one of
still
those,
wear
it's,
NWO
It's
shirts.
one of the hardest things to wrap your head around that happened. If you were watching the night that happened, like,
Bash at the
wait,
beach.
what?
Yeah.
You gotta be
Who's the
kidding.
third man?
Right? It's
Yeah.
wild.
But I mean, think
Wild.
about it. People, you'll still see people in NWO stuff. I mean,
yeah.
all my wrestling stuff was ZWO. I always talk about the ZWO. Like NWO, that logo is still everywhere. If you see a wrestling fan and you're walking around, you see somebody in an NWO shirt, you give them a little too sweet.
Yeah,
That's right, brother. People say brother.
Oh yeah,
brother.
Yeah.
Because of the Hulkster. I mean,
Yeah.
it's wild. I was on a text with a few of my friends who are in the business, and it's like, he's the George Washington on the Mount Rushmore.
That's it.
You don't have to say he's the best wrestler ever. You don't have to say he was the best promo ever, but
He's the most important.
the most important.
Yeah. All right, Kenny
Great.
Pickett.
It's a rough week, dude.
It has been, man.
By the way, I went home last, and I'm going to have to do tonight. I'm going to have to watch WrestleMania 18 again. It'll be Luca's second viewing of the match.
Right.
Since that was one of the first things he watched on television. I watched the first episode of The Osbournes. Last night's on Amazon Prime.
Is it really
Free.
Okay.
I watched the very first episode. I made my kids watch it. I was howling. And it looks like it's crazy. It was 2002.
Yeah.
Okay, two things are nuts about it. Number one, it looks like it was shot in the 70s on like a handheld camera.
Bet it does. Yeah.
The quality is, I don't even think they had themselves mic'd up. I don't even, he is hysterical and such a good dude. And then the other part of it is he was 76, I think, when he passed.
Yeah, I think that's right. Yeah.
So take 23 off of that, 53.
Yeah.
Not that much older than
No.
you and I.
No.
He moves, and there's a lot about him that would suggest that he was 76 in the Osbournes.
That's why I couldn't believe when I saw that he was just. I assumed he was in his mid 80s. I thought there's no way.
I would have thought he was 100.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And by the way, he probably was, in terms of life lived,
Yes.
150.
Yeah, that's probably fair. All right, we'll go ahead.
I do recommend, if you will love it. Did you watch it when it
Oh,
was?
of course.
Okay.
No, I said this.
It is every bit as you did say. It's the best reality show.
No, and I think it.
Oh, yeah, and you said the Newlyweds, too. That was a great drop.
Yeah, those two both kind of laid the groundwork for famous, wealthy people. Here's what happens when they're, and this paves the way for Kardashians and the Paris Hilton show. All of that stuff paved the way.
Nick
for
Lachey, very likable on Newlyweds.
He was. Yeah. Yeah.
Her dad, not as much.
Less so. And that
Proved to be precious.
proved to be,
Yes.
yeah, very. All right, we do Kenny from the podium. What do you want to do next, Gibby?
So I think we'll probably get a stack in because otherwise I got to do a legal ID in the middle of Pickett.
Oh, we don't want to do that.
Yeah, so
right.
we'll kick Pickett off maybe a little early here before 2 o'clock. But that's fine. We got Pickett. We've got Flacco. We've got
We
a
got,
lot
we got
of
a mailbag. By the way, get your Bobby is on it. He's got 75.
Well, it's about time. Last week was not so
Jeez,
great
you're going
for
at
him.
Bobby. Good God. Give me going at Bobby, too. All right, listen to Cleveland Browns Daily, presented by Valley Bet. Official sports betting partner of your Cleveland Browns on 850 ESPN Cleveland. Add more fun to your fandom with the Ballybet Sportsbook app. Download today, get 50 back in bonus bets. You place that first wager of 10 or more. Ballybet, official sports betting partner of your Cleveland Browns. Time to head to the podium, presented by Vivid Seats. Purchase your official fan experience package today for the ultimate game day. Here's quarterback Kenny Pickett.
What is your mindset?
You're down.
This open competition gets underway here in training camp. I remember in the offseason you really talked about that you came from here to start, and that's what you plan on doing. How do you feel about all that now?
Yeah, I feel great about it, and right now it's just taking it a day at a time. Let everything else play out, but going back through the installs, having a chance to train the system over summer and work the footwork and everything, I think helped me a lot. I felt a lot more comfortable yesterday, just having a chance to rep a lot of those things over the last 5 weeks. So really just taking it a day at a time, and yeah.
Okay, I'm curious from your perspective. We've talked about how it's so unusual to have a 4-man quarterback competition, and maybe you're not getting as many reps as you would in a normal training camp practice. But what is before practice? What does after practice look like? What does the day look like to make sure that even though you might not be throwing 25 times in a practice, you're locked in and you're getting as many reps and experience as you need?
Yeah, I think you got to find ways to steal reps, whether that's on the field watching, when you're not going. Watching the other guys in there after practice, staying and throwing the spots that you may not have gotten to, the plays that you weren't able to run. Put receivers in spots and just throw those routes. Work the footwork and work the timing that way. Film room, watching everybody's reps in film. So there's multiple ways that you can do it. I think it's big to get the mental and the physical reps as well. Staying after and doing the extra stuff to get those reps is huge.
How does Kevin describe how this is going to play out over the next few weeks, as far as how many reps you're going to get, who you're going to go with, when he even might make a decision? Has he talked about that?
No, we don't. It's really, like I said, a day at a time. You don't know what you're going to get that day. You're just kind of showing up and prepared to. I think every guy here is prepared to go play the entire practice. That's how I look at it. You don't know what you're going to get, so. Whatever's scheduled for that day, I want to make sure that I know everything inside and out. So whatever reps I do get, I can take advantage of it.
Kenny, are you comfortable in this offense, or is it a lot different than what you've been in the past?
Yeah, I am comfortable. It's a little bit more under center than I've had to do in the past. Kind of bouncing back to what I said earlier, having the 5 weeks in the summer to really rep more of it. Going into spring, I had an idea of what we were going to do. But then getting to experience spring and get those reps and then go home and work on those things and really hone in on them, I think helped me a lot, and I felt a lot more comfortable.
What specifically did you do during your time off to kind of really hone in on whether it was just watching film or was there specific things that you felt like really were most beneficial for you?
Yeah, I think I would go home and. Throwing 2 or 3 times a week, I would treat those days that I would throw like an install day. So, install 1, I would go home, watch the tape, study it, and I would write down all the routes and the footwork that I wanted to do. And that day was like install 1 day. And I did that throughout the summer and all my throwing sessions to kind of almost cheat a little extra practice, to look at the scripts from the spring, look at all the installs, put plays together, say the play, run the play, throw the route, just trying to cheat the reps because, like we've been saying, you may not get as many as you'd like. You just got to take advantage of what you get.
Kenny, yesterday you started things off on the 11-on-11 team drills. I know that's obviously going to change, as Kevin Stans said, but for you getting those extra reps while Joe kind of sits to the side, have you seen that help you create chemistry, get those maybe extra reps that you were talking about as you try to get acclimated and get yourself ready? Yeah,
those are huge. Whatever you can get with the guys in live speed, especially going against the defense, full 11-on-11, calling the play in the huddle, breaking the huddle, lining up, knowing where guys are going to be, the timing of the play, how each guy runs his route. It all plays into playing quarterback at a high level. So whenever you can get those reps and that experience, it's huge.
Did you get together with Joe Flacco or any of the Browns receivers?
No, I had some family things going on over summer, and we didn't get a chance to do it. But luckily we have a 6-week camp to make up for it.
Kenny, when you got traded to Cleveland, what was your first reaction? Of course, then after that, they signed Flacco and dropped a bunch of quarterbacks.
Yeah, I was just excited. It's an opportunity to compete. That's all you can ask for. So having an opportunity to compete against these guys, and it's a great room. We're having a lot of fun already together. But really, it was the opportunity that I was most excited about.
Say, go back even just 2 years. How much different are you now as a person and quarterback?
A lot. It's you experience so much of life. I think being an NFL quarterback, you experience the highs, the lows. I have an unbelievable support system that I can lean on. But you just go through so many trials and adversity. You learn a lot about yourself, a lot about the people around you. So I'm grateful for every experience that I've had, because I feel like it made me a better person, a better player today.
When you talk about
yourself as a player, as you've gone through this, going from Pittsburgh and then to Philadelphia, and now you're here in Cleveland, just what have you learned about yourself as a player that can make you a better player?
Yeah, I think the ability just to buy into whatever system you're in. I've been in different systems. I feel like I have the ability to play in a lot of systems with what I can do inside the pocket and outside the pocket. So buying into the scheme, buying into what the coaches are telling me to do, and then just leaving it all out there, working hard every day. So it's not going to be done in one day. It's not going to be done in 2 weeks. You got to show up and be your best every single day. So that's really what I'm focused on doing.
When you talk about the opportunity to have that chance to start, so how important is it to you at this stage in your career to capitalize on that opportunity? Does it feel more real in training camp than it did maybe in May and June?
Yeah, it's definitely more real now. Obviously, the season's almost here, but in the spring, you're really it's kind of trial and error thing. You're feeling out the offense. It's a new system for everybody here, so we were kind of working through the kinks of it, I'd say. Having the 5 weeks to train and work at what I know that we were going to do to come back now, and now it's time to sharpen everything up and get ready to go. So I think the springtime was a great time to work things through, and now it's time to go.
Can you explain some of it for me, because I think I'm a little confused. You talked about those 5 weeks when you were was that between mini camp and now?
Yes. Yeah, right after mini camp, my quarterback coach in New Jersey, those 5 weeks, being able to go through the playbook and installs all over again and treat those days like practice, making like a mini script up to go out there and practice, I think it helped me a lot.
And then who are you throwing to?
All receivers around the area.
Yeah. It feels like Jerry Jeudy's a guy that you've been able to really connect with out there. A lot of plays with you two involved with each other. What's it been like working with him, and maybe what has he gotten out of you?
Yeah, no, he full trust already. Jerry, you watch him on tape, it's one thing, but to go out there and play with him is another. His route running, his technique, his ability to find space in zone. He's a full package receiver, and he makes our job as quarterbacks a lot easier. So he's also a great guy to work with. He comes with a great attitude. He wants to win. He wants to work hard. So it's really easy to work with a guy like Jerry.
What do you think about the system that has it so
what do you have to do, and what do you have to show to win this starting job?
Consistency. I think that's what coaches are looking for. A guy that's consistent, that's the same guy every day that they can count on. They can call any play. They know that we'll get them out of a bad play. If the shot's called and it's not there, we'll check it down. So just a good quarterback play that can help this team win games, because that's what it's all about. We're all here to win, and that's all I'm concerned about.
Is it different coming into a season as your third team rather than as a first-round pick?
Say that again?
Is it different for you coming to a new team, your third team, than it was being a first-round pick in Pittsburgh?
I wouldn't say so. I mean, you have to attack the day and want to be the best player that you want to be. So I think as long as you keep that mindset, whatever the outside perception is of your situation, as a player, that doesn't really hinder my ability to go out there and play at the level that I know that I can play at.
What is young about the system that really helped you, the way you play quarterback, the way it's set up?
Yeah, I think it's very versatile. I think we do a lot of different things, whether it's under center, in the gun, the play action game, the drop back game, some movement things where I can get out on the edge. There's a lot of things that I think fit how I like to play quarterback. So
have you been under center before?
Yeah, I have been. Not at the level or the amount that we are here now, though.
Kenny, obviously you had Joe Flacco to talk to about this, but I was wondering, have you been able to talk to any quarterbacks outside of the building who played in the system before and pick their brain?
Not specifically in this system. There's a couple that are like this system, but really, Joe's the best guy to ask. The guy, he's been around, he's played in this system before, so having him in the room and on the field, to bounce questions and talk through some things has been beneficial to all the guys in there.
How has your relationship with him developed?
Oh, it's been awesome. Like, it feels like you're almost like talking like an older brother or something when you're in there. Like, he's a great guy. We're from about an hour from each other, so from the same area. He trained at Test Football for the Combine. That's where I trained as well. So there's some crossover in our past. He went to Pitt. I know a lot of guys that know him at Pitt. and everyone, raved about him, and, everything's held true, to this day. He's a great guy to have in the room.
Kenny, in terms of your mobility, do you feel like that's when you will have an opportunity to really step it up in this competition, when you have a chance maybe in 2-minute drills or practices against the Eagles or games where you can kind of make some off-schedule plays and show what you can do from that standpoint?
Yeah, I think it's another element that I can add. From the competition standpoint, I can't control, what other guys do, just focus on what I can do. And I know that's something that I can bring, to the table, to this offense. And we do a lot of it, which I like.
Kenny, this team has put an emphasis on creating pressure up the middle. We just talked to Mason Graham. What does that do to you? What kind of problems does that cause?
Yeah, you just have to operate fast. You have to know where your answers are. If you're in a play where they're bringing pressure, know where to get the ball out. It helps sharpen your skills as a quarterback when you're playing against a caliber defense like we are every single day. You talk about just the guys up front, the front seven, but that's the secondary can play. There's a lot of really good players there. So I think it's huge for, as quarterbacks, backs, receivers, tight ends, to go against this level of competition every day. It'll only make us better. And, I'm excited. It's only been day one. We're on day 2 now, but it's been good so far.
Is interior pressure harder to deal with than pressure off the edge?
Yeah, listen, if they're getting pushback up the middle, there's nowhere to step up. If it's on the edge, you can step up in a pocket and make a throw. With the interior pressure, it adds an element of, trying to find an escape lane if there is one. And, we got some guys that are going to cause a lot of teams problems.
So with the trend in the NFL towards more pass rushing defensive tackles and having everyone across the board that can get to the quarterback, is that where your mobility will probably come in handy, just in terms of being able to get out of there somehow?
Yeah. That can help, but you really just want to know where your answers are. Like I said earlier, you want to get the ball out of your hand. You want to help the offensive line. You don't want to sit back there holding the football too long. But I also know that I have the ability to extend and make plays downfield. So there's a fine line between both. You go out there, you play fast, you just kind of read and react and go from there.
All right, there you go, Kenny Pickett from the podium. Reminder is a Mailbag Thursday. Send your questions into Browns_Daily on the Twitter. Also, if you are watching on the YouTube stream, you can ask those questions there, and we will get those in the Mailbag, which is coming up here shortly. You heard from Kenny Pickett. You will now hear from Joe Flacco after this quick timeout. You're listening to Cleveland Browns Daily, presented by Ballybet, official sports betting partner of your Cleveland Browns. Welcome back in. Time to head back to the podium, presented by Vivid Seats. Purchase your official fan experience package today for the ultimate game day. Here's quarterback Joe Flacco.
So at minicamp,
You're done.
Taking periods off, and then you start yesterday and you took that period off. Do you expect that to change as closer we get to Carolina and Philly?
You know, it's tough to have expectations. You know, I think there's been some communication between probably all the quarterbacks and Kevin. So I guess I know a little bit what to expect, at least for the next week. But you can't ask me. It's hard for me to tell what it's going to look like, 2-3 weeks from now.
So I know Kevin said he's looking to make a decision sooner rather than later, but is there a date in your mind where if you're the guy, you want to know that you're the guy?
I think there's like ideal situations, obviously, and then there's just like the reality of the situation. And, it's one of those things that I really don't have any control over, so I'm really not worried about when anything happens. Obviously, there's advantages to knowing, earlier than later, but hey, it's just part of the game.
Joe, I asked this, and it feels a little more relevant to you because we've seen you, maybe not take as many snaps during practice, but what does the day-to-day look like before practice, after practice, where if you're not getting as many reps, you're still, staying locked in and staying prepared and getting.
Well, it's the same. I mean, you're still out here grinding and going through a lot of individual. I mean, yesterday, come on, I mean, we ran 20 plays total anyway. It's not like we had a heavy load. So it's just staying locked in and focused during the meeting time, which is a lot of what we're doing right now anyway. The thing for me is if you're not getting a ton of reps out there and you're only getting a certain amount of throws through individual, it's just maybe keeping an equipment guy out and just playing some long talls or something like that, just to make sure your arm's still getting the load that it's kind of gotten over the last 3-4 weeks as you're kind of getting ready to come back.
Joe, from what you've seen so far,
I was going to ask, how determined are you to win this starting job, and what do you have to do to win?
It's tough to look at it that way. I mean, I'm as determined as ever to just be the best quarterback that I can be. And I got it. It's so easy to, and I do it. I'm guilty of it. It's so easy to look ahead and picture yourself as the starter and hearing that news and things like that. But I really, second day of camp, I think the best thing for me is to just stay in the moment and come out here and have fun and compete and just do what I love to do. I think that's going to be the best way for me to show what I can do and all that stuff. So, I think there's a lot of self-motivation in order to be good at in this league, and that's always there. So I'm just going to continue to approach it like I always do.
So from what you know of this system this year, is play action more prevalent than in 2023, less prevalent, or the same?
I would think it's very similar. It's a big part of what we want this offense to look like. And I wasn't here in training camp in the first half of the season in 23. I know it was a lot of what we did, and it's kind of a lot of what this offense typically is. Just from talking, the way we're talking about it in meetings and stuff like that, it's a big part, and it's important to us to be good at it. So,
Joe, you obviously you've done this a long time. Your process, how does it change between the end of minicamp to now? How did you kind of approach it this end? Does you approach it any differently now compared to get ready for this point?
I think you learn probably little things every year. It's generally been the same. It is the most important time. You're at home, and then you get 3 months from January to April or whatever it is, February to April, and those are important to kind of get your body back going and get back in shape. And then you kind of show up here and you put the work in with your guys. But it's still a decent time away from training camp. So the trap that I think you can fall in is just not having something in place when you're young, going back home for 5 weeks and being left to your own devices. If you don't have that schedule, at least for me, if you don't have a kind of a set schedule, then things start to lack, and you start to you just slowly, I'm going to work out at 2 today. I'm going to work out at 4. I'm going to work out at 6. Oh shoot, the day got by. It's just immaturity. So just as my career's gone on, just finding people to hold you accountable and make sure that it's not just you. Believe me, holding yourself accountable is a huge part of it, and you learn how to do that. But it's for even the guys that are at the very top. Like, it's very helpful to have other people that can kind of keep you to that and make sure you're ready. But it's just giving your arm that load. Like, I don't necessarily throw a lot before we come back here for the off season, but leading up to this, I love to throw, so it's a lot of fun. And the one thing that's changed this year is I'm out there with my family and I'm trying to teach my boys 3-step, 5-step drops, and I'm freaking out on them because they're not getting it right away and stuff like that. But I'm throwing a lot in those 5 weeks, and that's.
So you talk about staying in the moment. How much is easier to do that in your 18th season than as a rookie?
It's always a battle, man. It's always a battle. It's always one of those things I think you learn a little bit about. We were having this conversation yesterday in the locker room with a few guys, like, just because guys are looking for advice, and I'm not a great giver of advice, but staying in the moment is very important, and you do realize that as you mature and like you realize the moments, man, like that. Why was I in the zone there? And I still don't know if I have the answer, like the perfect answer as to how to stay in the moment. I know staying in the moment is super important, but like the how to actually do that is the grind of it all. And I think the biggest thing to do is just keep your head down, go in that meeting and attack that meeting. Just like remind yourself of being present and really divvying it up and doing one thing at a time.
Joe, historically your sack totals have been relatively low. Certainly was in 23 in the 5 years you played. And you're no Lamar Jackson either. So what's your philosophy on avoiding sacks? How have you done it?
Listen, I think you can look at every single sack and it's very team oriented. And at the same time, the quarterback is very responsible. Like I think you could make both arguments, depending on what you're trying to say. But the biggest thing for me is being on time and playing in the rhythm of the offense. And then I think even in 23, you saw it a little bit. It wasn't like I'm just standing back there completely. Like I think when you are in good rhythm and you do have the benefit of having 5 guys up front that are really good at their job, that's when your feet can kind of tell you, okay, it's time to get out, and it's time to do those other things. It starts with me with playing in rhythm, being on time with my feet, and then therefore being on time to get the ball out of my hands. And then the added benefit is when you are really good up front, even a guy like me who is not like my number one priority will be given chances to kind of get out and make some plays in those kind of conditions.
There's a lot of added pressure that you have 5 children that are expecting you to win this starter job and be the starting quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, I went home in the beginning of June. They're like, "Are you the starter?" Yet, like, So yeah, it's not added pressure. It's honestly it makes it a lot of fun. It's almost like takes pressure off because that almost helps put me in the moment and see it for what it is. You wish you could see it from a 11, 12, 13-year-old's eyes. So when you hang around them and you see the questions they ask and the way they phrase things, it honestly kind of helps. It helps put things in the moment and kind of really remind you of what's important and why this game is so important to you. So it's just a good reminder.
Joe, at the end of last year, was there any sort of fear that I'm going to end up on my couch again, nobody's going to call or anything like that?
There really wasn't. Like I feel like the last 2 years I really kind of went in pretty optimistic into the off season. But then, the time comes up where you start signing guys and you don't necessarily hear from people. So of course that goes into that kind of enters into your mind. But I don't really think I have like a negative outlook on it. Like there's only so many things. It goes back to that. There's only so many things you can control. And like you can go out there and play the best you can in hopes of giving people that vision of what you can do for them. But if nobody bites, as long as I can look at myself and like have an idea that I did the right things and I'm happy with what I did, you learn that that's what matters and you can't worry about the decisions of other people.
When you heard from Cleveland, then what kind of your emotions and all that? Because you were out there for a while before the call.
Yeah, sure, yeah, and we had talked and not talked, and you don't know. I'm very excited to be back here. Yeah. So to get the call from these guys and learn that they actually did want to bring me back was very exciting, and felt very good about it, obviously.
Everybody throws interceptions. I get it. Jameis Winston last year would pray to God to make it stop.
Yeah.
They roll off your back. What's your philosophy on picks?
You don't want to throw them. You want to be aggressive and you want to be smart. You know, I have thrown some picks recently, I feel like, but I do still pride myself on not and making good decisions. And having said that, you know that they're going to happen at some point. You want to be aggressive, but that's not necessarily an excuse. Like, being aggressive is not an excuse. The goal as a quarterback is to make good decisions, be accurate, and take care of the football for your team. So ultimately, that's what you want to do. And you have to find that balance of being able to be yourself, be really aggressive, and not turn that damn ball over. It's very important.
Do they affect you, the points? They don't affect you.
It's just one of those things. They affect me. Yeah, they. Maybe I don't show it. I hope I do a good job of not showing it. But man, like, yeah, there's times where you turn the ball over, and there's definitely times in your life as a 40-year-old where you wish you were like 6 years old and like it was acceptable to just cry about it. You know, you can't hide on an NFL field, and there's times where you definitely want to, but you got to deal with it. You got to deal with it, man.
Joe, going through what you went through in 23 and having to wait for these guys to call you, like, does that give you a different, or did it give you like a different outlook or appreciation for things like this, like going through a position battle now and everything?
Yeah, it definitely did, and like especially right in the moment, like when it was fresh like that, it does give you that outlook. That only goes so long. But I think I can look back on, like, that was an experience that I got to go through myself. So that's not fresh. It's not in my mind necessarily. But when you're going through, when different thoughts are rattling around in your brain and you don't really want them to be there, that is one of those experiences that I think that I can draw on in my life and kind of remind myself of what I was feeling at that time and why. And that's part of just, you know, learning through experience.
You mentioned having a strong offensive line, a strong front. We know that they're going through some changes. DeJuan Jones playing left tackle, new coach out there. So for you as a quarterback, how important is the communication and the work that you do on these fields and getting them ready for that week one and to be a strong front in you?
Yeah, it's great to be out there with those guys and doing all that together. And at the same time, I have the utmost confidence in their coach and those guys because I've been with them and I can see them working, that they are on top of their stuff. That's the last position group that you're going to have to worry about on this field. So even if you're not directly working with them, you know they're getting in their work and dotting all their I's, crossing all their T's to make sure that, you know, they're on it.
Kenny Pickett, when he came in here, when he first was acquired, he made it abundantly clear that he's coming in here to start. He doesn't want to sit. And I know you're the same. So just between you two guys, how, you know, what is that like to be out there every day knowing that, you know, that you have to beat each other out, and what mindset do you have?
Yeah, listen, I think we're all aware of that, and you know, it's not necessarily talked about between the two of us, but you obviously know what you have a little bit of insight as to what they may be thinking and those things. But it goes back to, like, that's just focusing on, like, when you're focusing on Kenny or Kenny's focusing on me, and then we're super focused on that in general, it's kind of the wrong mindset to be in to be at your best. So you try to, it's natural for those things to come into your head, but you try to do your best to get them out and just go out there and be with the guys and be in the moment.
Knowing where this team was last season, what gave you confidence that, you know, coming back you can kind of recapture what happened in 2023?
I'm not trying to recapture, you know. Every year new, every season's new in this league, and listen, I've been in the locker room with these guys. I know what they're all about, and it's obviously not the same exact locker room, but there's a lot of really good guys in there that know how to win football games. So that's what gives you the confidence that you can come back here and win games. I don't think it's about trying to recreate anything. It's just it's a new season. Everybody has a fresh mindset, and a lot of the guys in there have a really good one to begin with. They know how to win football games, and that makes you feel good about lining up with them.
Joe, there's got time for one more already about just the intensity of training camp this year. I know you obviously weren't here for that 2023, but you've also been, you know, a handful of other places where you've seen how camps are run. I know you talked about your 2-a-days back in the day, earlier in the spring, but even dating back to the spring, do you kind of sense that there's different intensity?
Yeah, listen, I think you can talk a lot about how practices are actually structured, but I think what we're talking about is just the mindset, you know, of of a winner and a winning football team and what that takes. And it doesn't matter if you're out here for an hour or 3 hours. There's a way that a winning team takes the field and approaches their craft. And I think there's definitely a focus, and you can definitely tell that we're locked in to, make sure that happens.
Joe, you touched on it earlier, but getting to involve your kids in getting ready for training camp, like where did you guys typically go? What a throwing session with?
Yeah, it looked a lot like, September, October before I signed here, going out to the local high school field with my brother, my dad, and my kids, and having them spot up and throw to them, and kind of me do my thing, and then at the end bring them together and have them, have a little bit of fun, and they're gonna be playing football here in the next month or 2 months, and I'll probably miss some of it, but I'll have a lot of family back there, kind of checking in on them for me, and it'll be a lot of fun.
All right, there you go. Joe Flacco from the podium. Lots to love. Presented by
great.
Vivid Seats. Purchase your official fan experience package today for the ultimate game day. We will crack open that mailbag. Coming up next, you'll see Cleveland Browns Daily, presented by Bally Bet, official sports betting partner of your Cleveland Browns. Elk & Elk Serious Lawyer, Serious Injuries, 1-800-ELK Ohio for a free case review. Elk & Elk's proud partner of your Cleveland Browns. Time to open up that mailbag. Hello, Gibby.
Gentlemen.
It's
Hello.
Good hearing from you. Good hearing from you. You need to zoom out. Mr. Siciliano's here as well. We got to get a zoom out
That's
on
fine.
the
We'll
YouTube.
send J Mac over.
It's okay.
Dr. J!
I'm a small person. I don't need
Dr.
to sit on
J!
Segura doesn't know how to turn his on-off light on.
Well, I haven't spoken yet, so I don't see what the relevancy is.
Taking shots.
I mean,
sounds
when it comes time to talk, it'll be on.
It is. It was.
It's only day 2 of camp.
That's right.
There you
Look
go.
at you.
Oh, there you go. Live zoom out. There you go.
I'm getting feisty, he says.
Getting a little feisty.
Only with me.
How are you, Gibby?
I'm fine.
Feisty.
What do you guys? Is there one thing you're looking forward to seeing today at training camp?
Quarterback.
I want to see who the number 1 quarterback is today because we were told yesterday
doesn't
before
matter.
practice that it is going to be different today.
Bill.
The great Bill.
Yes.
William Wallace.
By the way, Gibby, when your significant other says fine, like when you say, hey, how are you today? And they go, fine, you know something's wrong, right? You know that maybe it's something you did, but there's something lingering. So would you like to unpack it? Like what's actually wrong when you say fine?
Just 500 things on a to-do list.
Let me ask you this.
I got you.
Otherwise, it's that time of year, man.
When did fine become negative?
It's the tone in
Because
which you
fine
say
dining,
yes,
as a kid meant
elite.
Let's go.
Elite.
White
It's-
tablecloth.
It still
Right.
does mean
Right.
that.
Yeah.
right. But now, like my wife will say, like, how was your day? Fine.
Well, but you came
fine.
up on that at the end. Fine. Like,
No,
oh, yeah.
yeah.
Fine.
It's fine.
I'm fine. Like,
Or if somebody you're like,
So if she asks me how it is, and I go, it was fine.
or
Then that
it's
almost
all in
seems
tone.
more
Or
negative.
it's like,
It's all
hey,
in
What
tone.
is that then?
I'd like to
more
go.
negative.
I'd like to go play some golf with Big Z and have some cocktails, and she's like, fine.
Right. But if she says,
But why did
That's
that
not
start?
good, yeah.
How did it start that way that it
know.
became a negative when for the longest time it was the pinnacle of positive?
I
When
think
did it
it's
flip?
texting in the world we live in because you can't tell tone via text,
Yeah.
and often I would get fine, meaning, okay, I'm lying to you.
Yeah. I also think it's like all kinds of things, like pal,
Oh, yeah, that's a negative.
but it can also be Britton Cole quit, the great Cole. He will give you a genuine pal. You'll throw a genuine pal out.
I
every
love
now
a
and then.
pal.
Yeah.
Pal's very affectionate for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey,
agreed.
pal.
Yeah.
We
Good
had
to see
a
you, pal.
we had a former executive, I guess you can call them, at NFL Network back in the day that would use like pal, buddy, like champ, and like
Champ's bold.
it's
Champs are great.
If I
It's-
call you chief,
chief. He'd use chief as
Understand.
well. The
Not
person
a
no
term
longer
in
the
the-
network and did last long at the network, but it was always you don't know my name, so you're just going to one of
Yeah,
those,
yeah.
and that sounds a little condescending,
Yeah.
buddy.
Buddy.
That was Bowden. Bowden was everybody was buddy.
Yep.
First time I met him, it was like buddy, buddy, buddy. I'm like, wow, he loves me.
No, doesn't
then
know
I
your name.
realized everybody's
Nope.
buddy.
The
It's
pump,
like the Hulkster, everybody's brother.
the Pump brothers, Dana and David in the college basketball world. Everybody's coach. Hey, coach. Hey, coach.
I love a coach.
Everybody is coach.
Oh,
Everybody's coach.
Coach, how you doing, Coach? Good to see you, Coach.
You even throw NBC was coach for a while.
He was
wasn't
coach when he was little. Yeah, he was the coach when he was little.
Yeah.
all right, tweet your questions to us at Browns_daily. It is time for the mailbag.
Fine.
First and foremost, listen, Siciliano, you get sassy. Coach Jay tweets at the show, hungry dogs and leading the league in takeaways. That's exactly the mindset Cleveland needed on defense, reacting to our interview from earlier today
Yeah.
with Joe Tryon-Shoyinka.
Really likable. Joe was
Yeah.
fun. It was good having him in here.
When a player immediately embraces the city and talks championship goals instead of individual stats, you know he understands what the dog pound is all about. Love a dog today. In remembrance of the Hulkster, what is your tag team Mount Rushmore?
So then you need 4 tag teams?
That's
Or-
easy. I could.
Yeah, that's easy for you. So it's interesting. In those days, like they wouldn't just put people together. Like it was rare that they split them.
Correct.
You know. So I'll go obviously. You're going to do Road Warriors number 1, and so that would be number 1. I would probably go Heart Foundation. I would be third there. I like the Rockers. That was kind of fun. They were all right.
Shawn Michaels and Marty Jannetty.
Marty Jannetty, yeah. The fourth. Who would be the fourth? I'm trying to remember from that era because there's a lot of like Demolition.
Dude, how's Demolition not on there?
Demolition would be my fourth. Yeah.
My four are
Road Warriors, Demolition, Heart Foundation, Rockers.
Mine would be the Hardy Boys.
Oh, good one.
Hardy Boys are the best. They're the best. Edge and Christian, Demolition, and Miz and Morrison, the greatest tag team of the 21st century.
I am completely incapable of answering this question. Can I go like Han Solo and Chewbacca? They are a great duo. No, like Nathan, you could put your hand in your head or your head in your hands all you want. I'm incapable of answering this question.
I don't believe that.
No,
I don't
okay,
believe
I'll
this.
give you one. True story, because I was thinking about it.
Okay.
So I watched if I give you a couple of names, can you tell me what year this was? I'm being dead serious.
Yeah.
Like Coco Beware and the British Bulldogs. What,
so the British
what year
Bulldogs
was-
is a tag
British
team.
Bulldogs. I know
Tag
that.
team.
So that's what I was going to say.
80s.
What year is that?
80s.
Like,
Early
give me a
90s.
ballpark.
Late 80s.
Late 80s,
Okay.
early 90s. Yeah.
So that is those are the only 5 minutes of my life I've ever watched wrestling.
Coco
Nasty
Beware.
Boys were kind of
The
fun. I
Nasty
like
Boys.
those
So
guys.
British
Brian
Bulldogs
Jerry
are the
Skaggs.
only. It gun to my head, it would have been the only tag team I could have been able.
Dynamite
I was
Kid
shocked
and
you
the
went
British Bulldogs.
Demolition over Road Warriors, though.
So Road Warriors, when they were really like the Legion of Doom in the WWE. The Road Warriors was all happening outside, and like Demolition was as a kid.
They were cool. Their song was cool. In retrospect, a lot of choices were made with those outfits that as a
lost
kid,
on
I
me as a
were
child.
lost, yeah.
Hey guys, I have breaking
The
news.
Demolition, walking
news.
disaster.
What do you got?
Breaking news. Do you have the breaking news sounder or something?
Is
now?
it real?
It is.
Oh boy.
From Latrobe. First snap of camp. Pittsburgh Steeler camp.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers picked off by Patrick Queen. It's on Twitter. It's true. Must be true. There's video.
Pittsburgh people.
There's
Come
video.
Oh my goodness.
No, let's not overreact.
breaking
Let's
the-
not
we're
overreact.
You wanted the
That's
breaking
breaking
news.
news sounder.
Our friend
I thought
Tori
we were into
Epstein just
something-
tweeted the video. Here it is.
Kabali says
Here it
it's
is.
true.
It's true.
Kabali.
It's true. Aaron Rodgers has been picked off by Patrick Queen to open up Steelers training camp, and we're off.
That's all I need is Kabali.
I love Kabali.
He's in the
Shout
mix.
out, Mark.
That guy's the
Kabali says
best.
it's true.
Love that guy.
He works for McAfee in the WWE.
Does he really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
He is a Steelers correspondent for the McAfee Show, WWE digital and social contributor.
That's awesome.
Kabali, this is what Kabali said.
Kabali said it's true.
There's video of it.
Team's drill was intercepted.
Pick or didn't happen. There's video of it, of the pick.
Preston tweets at the show. What is the most petty office beef you've ever seen or been involved with? Mine is parking in someone's assigned parking spot.
No, that's not a petty beef. That's somebody parked in his assigned parking spot. That's
I
a
should
legit
park
beef.
in Zagura's tomorrow just to see what happens.
Hold on,
with
you have
me.
You have a petty beef with me every day.
Every
You have
day.
a
It's made
parking
up.
spot?
Of course
Yeah,
he does.
that's right.
No, he does.
That's right.
Tenure.
I can't think of any.
I respect.
anything petty
I'm trying to come up
in
with
my
something
life
like
that, other than just, well, sure, but I mean, like, I'm just thinking like of a legitimate one.
No.
I can't think of
We're
any.
grown men.
Yeah, I don't have any.
I don't have petty fights.
No.
I couldn't be bothered.
Brownie in AK, the AK Man 42. Advice for Zagura at 46. I thought I'd play a little 3-on-3 last August. I hadn't played in a few years, but I stay in shape. Didn't think it'd be a big deal. 2 minutes in, tore my Achilles.
Yeah,
Don't do it,
no
Z. Learn from
interest.
my stupidity.
I was talking to somebody yesterday in LA who is in their early 30s who tore their Achilles playing pickleball last weekend.
Oof.
It's real, man.
Enough from the clown says, nice to hear and see that crud Siciliano.
I saw that. I
That's
laughed.
funny.
I
That's a good
laughed.
job out of him.
All in love.
Bobby time. I'll give Bobby a little love.
He's got a lot here.
What food makes the best leftover?
Ooh.
Dude.
Pasta.
So many. First of all.
Day after pasta is amazing.
Yeah.
Chinese
like
is
with
great.
good sauce.
Yeah, because it gets better.
It's homemade
Yeah,
with
of
good
course,
sauce.
That's what I did.
A
Absolutely.
little bolognese the
Yeah.
next day is always a
Yeah.
delight.
I ran that back, made it Sunday, ran it back Tuesday.
Absolutely.
What a treat.
That's always good. I like cold pizza. I'm a cold pizza guy.
I'm not,
I like
no.
a cold pizza.
It's got to be a particular crust. The crust has got to be able to withstand the rigors of the cold temps.
Yeah, I still like that.
I love a cold pot sticker the next day.
Sure.
If I have a leftover, to give it a little dunk in its sauce.
You know,
on the gullet.
a good don't laugh, a good summer salad where you have like the cucumbers, the tomatoes, the onions, right? Or a corn salad, something like that, where it's got that, it's kind of marinating
juices.
and steeping in the fridge for an extra day. Sure. Big fan of that.
I like a watermelon jalapeno salad.
Yeah.
With some agave.
There you
go. Vinaigrette.
McConaughey was big on the second day on his famous tuna salad recipe.
Day
2.
I wouldn't touch tuna
By
salad.
the way, at lunch today, there were egg salad sandwiches.
Were there really?
I almost brought one up here
egg
to go.
salad sandwich?
See, what would it take? I mean, they were out.
How about when they take the egg and the tuna and they make it one? Make it one.
Hey, I got an
put them
idea.
together.
Let's just douse something in mayonnaise and call it a salad.
There's a salad.
Couldn't agree with you more. Outrageous.
I mean,
more Kabali. Jalen Ramsey is playing deep high safety 3 of the first 4 snaps.
There you go.
Dun, dun. Bobby, can we get a reality show where not Pedro and the Marlboro Man live together in Ohio around the Ponderosa?
Oh my God.
Yes.
I think they would just, despite having almost nothing in common, they have almost everything in common. And I think that they would just sit and talk to each other and just say, you're right, you're right, you're right. I wish our kids would listen. That's what I think they would do. Now, I don't know how Pedro would do on the Ponderosa. I don't know, but I know my dad would not do well in the Bay Area.
I think that's what it should be. Remember that show, Wife Swap?
Wife Swap, yeah.
Yeah.
But in this case, like, they're not white. They're just, like, we'll call it Life Swap. And so it's like,
you go there.
No, for like 2 months, my dad goes to the Ponderosa and gets into your dad's life. And then for 2 months, your dad has to go into California way with my dad, who's thrilled to be living there.
Yes,
he
loves
loves
it.
the state. I think that would be. I'd watch.
How about like parent swap? Wouldn't that be a good winner for kids these days? Like, hey, you guys swap kids for the day.
Bootsy and I'd have a hell of a
You guys have the time of your life. You just sing Christmas carols.
Yeah. You might not get them back. You might get 2 back.
Where is he?
You might get 2 back.
What happened to him?
But that's part of the show. Like, the kids don't want to go back to mom and dad. They want to stay with Uncle Nate.
You know, if you did like the I'm with Busey
gosh.
and my dad, which is an all-timer, and
Great show.
if he went to California and then you were there just completely disrespectful, like just not overtly, but just like putting him in places that you knew he would not respond to well, that would be fun. And me do the same with Pedro in Montana, that would be gold.
I mean, Pedro's layups.
It'd be gold.
Do you prefer round pizza or square pizza?
Is that even a question?
Don't care.
Swear.
Round, but
Don't care.
Okay,
I can
the
hear you
answer
do.
is round, but if
round.
it's square, I'm not going to look at it and go, I refuse to eat that. If it's good pizza, it's good pizza.
I don't know why
Who makes a good square pizza?
It's a great
usually
question,
like a sheet
actually.
pizza.
Yeah. Sheet pizzas can be good.
You remember those pizzas you'd get? I don't know if you guys had this, but you remember the school cafeteria pizza, like those big sheet pizzas?
Dude.
There's a place you can buy those. Someone sent me the link to it. You can buy those. You remember the ones I'm talking about?
My good friend Casey Koulis hooked me up with a link. You remember Fiestadas for lunch? The Mexican pizzas?
Yeah.
Oh.
He found those?
Oh, yeah.
That's great.
I had a case delivered when the kids were in school. They were like, this is amazing. I'm like, yeah. This is living right
This
here,
is really
kids.
it, yeah.
Hold on a second. The problem with square pizza is at some point you run into pieces that are crustless.
For sure. Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that.
That's my issue with
What do
it
you
as
mean?
well.
It's fine. Live with it.
No. I
they're
like
not.
the crust. I'd rather hold it.
I like
That's
the
where
crust as
is
well,
there.
but I
don't even eat the crust.
You don't even eat it, but you need it? Is that what you said?
I need it.
I need it. It's a hold. That's where my thumb goes, and then
Yeah.
I fold, and then I'm eating.
That's it. Yeah.
Okay.
The crust is like, it would be like trying to golf without like you're having a grip.
I don't know how to hold it. You got to get underneath it then.
You can't eat a piece of pizza without folding it?
I love to fold it.
I like to fold it.
You
and I also
love
like
to fold
the
it,
crust.
but does it prevent you from, like, it kills your enjoyment so much if you can't fold
I just
it?
find it gross when it has no crust. Also, when you fold and you're at this angle, right, if there happen to be juices, they run back into the crust. It's
I get
like
that,
a walled
yeah.
protector. Now it's this. It's sloppy. It's ugh.
Yep.
Totally get it.
Larry David's not eating any pizza out of the center of a square pie. No way. Neither am I.
Let's see.
It feels like you're at a bowling alley or you're at a Chuck E. Cheese.
Yeah,
I
like
want to give me a
handle.
good pizza.
I need a handle.
It doesn't even have to be a perfect circle. I'm not talking about that. It could be oddly shaped because it's made from an artisan who is kneading the dough himself.
Okay, we have like 30 seconds here before we have to wrap. What's the coolest thing that you still own from your childhood that is originally from your childhood?
To Nathan, Merry Christmas, Mark McGuire on a Rawlings big stick, a Rawlings Adirondack big stick.
That's awesome. I still have a lot of I don't have them in my possession, but they're at the house I grew up in. A lot of the toys I had as a kid, a lot of the G.I. Joes and a lot of that type of stuff.
I read all it, dude. I had so many cool Star Wars toys.
Yeah.
I had the whole thing.
I have my old original 1970 whatever Star Wars cards in a box somewhere. They're not in good shape, but I have some of. I don't like the blue set, the yellow set. They're like 5 different colored sets back there. I have some of them.
Some of those.
It's not even your childhood, but you have the best action figures out of this panel.
Who, me?
That's
those,
right.
yeah. And you're talking about my Eric Metcalf starting lineup.
You know it.
Yeah,
I love starting lineup. We have 2 of them in here somewhere.
I have a whole bag that was given to me by someone in security of players not from the Browns.
We used to have them on set here.
Yeah.
We'd
No,
have
no,
our
no,
guys.
not these. There's a whole other. I've got those.
I got Bernie in white and brown jerseys.
Let's go.
Hey now.
So much more to come. Cleveland Browns Daily, presented by Ballybet, official sports betting partner of your Cleveland Browns.
At Bookman & Son.
All right, there you go, kids. We've got practice number 2 this afternoon. Not a game. Not a game. Talking about practice. And then tomorrow we will welcome all of you as we are open to the public, 2 o'clock tomorrow for practice number 3. And away we go.
Let's go.
So tomorrow we'll have copious notes, and then we're going to be able to live react to
Yep.
what we see.
Yeah, buddy.
Which is awesome.
Yeah.
These are my favorite shows. I love
these
these.
are-
It's going to be awesome.
It's a good time of year.
Can we get a field mic and you walking around middle of the field? Can we do that?
I don't know if I'd be allowed out there.
I don't
but
think
I would
so either,
do
but
it.
we can ask.
We can.
What are they going
I'd
to say?
be happy
No.
to do it. I kind of like my
They
perch,
say no,
but
they say
once they
no.
take our
I
perch
like
away,
you in the shade.
The perch was fun yesterday.
Oh, we're going back again.
Yeah.
Running right back.
Yeah.
All right, there you go. It's all happening, kids. Day 2 of training camp today. Tomorrow, the public is welcome.
I got another
We will see
Kabali
you out there.
update.
Give me a Kabali.
Don't mind if I do is the writing, the picture, sweet and salty pickle cookie recipe. 1 cup granulated sugar, 1 cup unsalted butter, 1/2 cup chopped dill pickles. Don't mind if I do. Kabali.
I love that guy. What? So great. Next level is next. Thanks for listening, everybody. Cleveland Browns Daily, presented by Bally Bet, official sports betting partner of your Cleveland Browns.